What is going on, guys? Andrew Acevedo here, back with another video. We are here for my Money in the Bank 2020 reactions, and I was really not going to watch this show because I was going to watch the Last Dance, the Jordan Bulls '97 documentary, or whatever, the Bulls Jordan documentary. And I thought about it last minute. I'm like, I kind of want to see Drew and Rollins and Braun and Brandon. Everyone said it was going to be a movie type Money in the Bank ladder match, so I said, you know what? I re-upped the network this morning, and a weird show. I mean, really kind of the first half of the show was filler, throw it away, and really didn't mean nothing. I'll run through the match results for the matches I don't care about. I'm only going to talk about the Universal WWE Championship and the ladder matches. So, pre-show match, Jeff Hardy defeated Cesaro. I clicked on right as Jeff at the Swanton, so I really didn't care. The New Day retained the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships against the Lucha House Party, Forgotten Sons, and Miz and Morrison. Lashley beat R-Truth, and it was supposed to be R-Truth and MVP. Lashley came in and squashed him. Bayley defeated defended her title against Tamina. And then we'll get to the matches that I came and cared about for the show. Starting off with the Universal Championship, Braun Strowman defending his title for the first time since winning it at WrestleMania versus Goldberg against plain old man Bray Wyatt. And God, I need more just basic Bray Wyatt in my life. As you see, I have the Fiend hoodie on. We did not get the Fiend. There was some people say, oh, maybe they'll just turn the lights off, and the Fiend was prepared. There was no Fiend, or at least no after the match. Braun kind of worked heel pretty much the whole match. Bray was, again, being with Bray Wyatt, the Funhouse Bray is, doesn't really want to be aggressive, but when he has to, he is. Braun kind of worked just working him with shoulder tackles and outpowered him. And then every time Bray kind of hit offense on Braun, he doesn't want to. Because, he wants to bring Braun back to the Funhouse and kind of bring that family, bring the Wyatt family back together. And get to the final, the finish of the match. Braun gets knocked to the outside, and he puts back on the black sheep mask, and Bray's looking at him, and I love all the puppets were outside of the ring, just he's gonna rejoin us in the Funhouse. Obviously not. Braun goes through their ball, they're both on their knees, going out help me, whatever. Braun takes the mask off, squashes the match, and with just one power slam, 1, 2, 3, Braun defeats Funhouse Bray to retain the Universal Championship. A lot of people they just put the belt back on to Bray. This is the kind of way to make Braun at least get a win, defend the title at least once. And then he didn't beat the Fiend, he beat Bray. So now, and they kind of foreshadow that after the camera panned to Bray looking brokenheartedly, and then you just see the Fiend just kind of flashing. So we would think at SummerSlam or Backlash, whenever we're gonna get the Fiend and Bray and Braun, and that's when Bray will win the belt back. Moving on to the technically semi-main event on the show, Drew McIntyre defending his WWE Championship versus the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Another good match. They got about 25 minutes. That's what I was really looking forward to, because both these guys are great in-ring technicians. Both can go when they're given time. And started off kind of slow. Drew kind of dominating, being a babyface, but kind of just dominating the heel early. And then once it got going, Drew and Rollins were great. Super kicks. Couple false finishes with Seth hitting a super kick into a curb stomp. He kicked out. The Glasgow Kiss and the Future Shock DDT, Seth kicked out. So it went about 25 minutes. I thought it was a pretty solid match, nothing crazy. And the show didn't have, well, you call it the main event amazing, but we'll get to that because, this video is not going to be long, but that part, just me talking about what happened, we'll get there. Finish the match. Seth hits a Falcon Arrow off the top rope. He kicks out. Seth goes for a super kick. He gets into a headbutt. Seth hits a super kick. Drew bounces off the rope into a Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew retains the title in a really good match. After the match, Drew goes to shake Seth's hand, and Seth does shake it, which I was left me a little, he's supposed to be a heel, what are we doing? Is this just a respect thing, or is this are they maybe turning Seth babyface because of AOP being hurt? Maybe they don't want to continue the Messiah group. There was no Buddy Murphy involved, so maybe this is turning Seth babyface. I don't know. I thought of him shaking hand was a little weird. He still kind of looked pissed off, so maybe he stays heel, but just a weird having him shake Drew's hand. Then we move on to the main event, the 2 Money in the Bank corporate ladder match, Money in the Bank contract matches. Again, this was gonna be stupid. It was gonna be a movie match, just like the Firefly Funhouse and the Boneyard match. It was stupid. It was enjoyable. There was bunch of throwbacks. Like Brother Love was in it. John Laurinaitis was in it. We got Vince. We didn't get Triple H. I was really hoping we get Hunter involved. Hunter was not there. We did get Vince, which I think Vince is kind of funny. And that the best spot when AJ and Daniel were fighting into his office, and he's like, "Just get the fuck out!" That was amazing. I think it was grabs hand sanitizer and puts his hand, sanitizes his hands. But that was pretty good. Asuka, pretty much the match starts. They're doing introductions. The women were in the lobby, and the men were in the gym, and they're doing the intros, and all the women are waiting, and Asuka was the last one, and Asuka's nowhere to be found. Asuka's on the balcony, jumps on, big suicide dive onto the other 5 participants, which were Asuka, obviously, Dana Brooke, Carmella, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Lacey Evans. And on the men's side, it is Otis, Aleister Black, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Daniel Bryan, and Rey Mysterio. Couple fun spots. It was fun stupidity. Again, the men were in the gym, so you had like Rey Mysterio using the dumbbells and using his surroundings to climb on things. Aleister Black threw Rey into it, and then the big spot, Otis just drops about 450-pound dumbbell onto AJ, and AJ's just stuck under it. Go on throughout the building. Rey Mysterio died a few times in this match, but we'll get to those. We go to AJ's trying to find Rey, because after everyone was running out the gym, Rey was the last guy to leave AJ. And AJ asked, "Rey, help me." He's under the dumbbell. Rey leaves. So AJ goes to hunt Rey Mysterio. And WWE is this little funny thing with AJ and The Undertaker, where he's looking down the hallways, and he finds a big poster of Undertaker, and he's just scared shitless. He opens the door, and of course there's a casket, referring back to the Boneyard match, and he's like, no, not again. Aleister Black, Black kicks him, locks him into the room, throws him in the room, closes the door, and he just smiles, he runs away. On the women's side, they went into a boardroom, what Stephanie McMahon called the Money in the Bank preview office or whatever. Carmella now running, and Carmella hits Dana Brooke with a picture of Carmella winning the Women's Money in the Bank last year, and Dana Brooke unhooked the briefcase. There was a briefcase hanging from the roof full of money, and Stephanie's like, "That's just a prop. The real one's up on the roof." And then she also, Nia Jax with a chair knocked Nia completely out for a little bit. Moving on to, went to a food court where Paul Heyman was just sitting there, just trying to enjoy some pasta or whatever. He had some pasta, some chicken, some sandwiches, and of course Otis, freaking Otis, goes out and starts a food fight, and then Shayna Baszler puts Rey Mysterio in the Karafuda clutch. He starts getting choked down, and then Rey Mysterio, again, the second time he's gonna die. Shayna has him in the Karafuda and then lets him go, and then Otis and Nia Jax completely pancake Rey Mysterio. So Rey had a rough night, you could say. Then Carmella got put through a table. Nia put Carmella through, powerbombed her through the table. Otis is a legend, threw a pie in John Laurinaitis' face, which I thought that was funny. Finally getting to the roof. Well, then the Vince, AJ and Daniel Bryan are battling in the boardrooms, and they get into Vince's office. Like I said, hand sanitized, and then pretty much says, "Get the hell out." And AJ and Daniel Bryan "Cool, okay." Close gently. They move the chairs back into position, walk out, and continue the fight afterwards. Getting to the finish of at least the women's match, the women were the first one to the roofs. It was Lacey Evans, Nia Jax, and Asuka. Shayna was nowhere to be found, which kind of made no sense to me, but whatever. They started battling, and it was the last two were Asuka and Lacey Evans. Asuka knocked her off, and then Baron Corbin showed up right when Asuka was left by herself, and then Corbin climbs the other side of the ladder, and instead of letting him win the men's briefcase, Asuka just slaps Baron Corbin, drops him to the floor, and Asuka wins the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Which, again, for me, I wanted Shayna to win it, but I think Shayna can beat Becky without using the briefcase. I think she's been the MVP of these quarantine Raws, and I guess Vince is finally believing in her. A couple years too late, but whatever. Then we get to the men. Like I said, Corbin was the first one out. Otis and Rey Mysterio, I believe. I think it was Rey Mysterio was the third guy. And they're battling. It was Corbin and Rey were battling on top of the roof. And then Aleister Black came in, and then AJ came in, and then Daniel Bryan was the last one to get to the roof. And pretty much Baron Corbin commits 2 murders by first takes Rey Mysterio and just yeets him off the side of the building. He didn't make a sound. He just flew and just died. There was no sound. And then he does the same thing and absolutely just chucks Aleister Black over off the roof, and you hear Aleister Black hit. Obviously, it's stage, whatever. But, like, Ray didn't get a sound. Ray just got yeeted, and it was over. It was like Ray's dead. Aleister gets a sound. So it's down to Otis, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles. Final 2, it's AJ and Corbin on the ladder, battling for it. They both unhook the briefcase. They both have the briefcase in each other's hand. Like, they both have 2 hands on the briefcase. And then here comes Elias, drills Baron Corbin with his guitars, and then, all right, AJ wins. And AJ fumbles the briefcase into the waiting arms of Otis. And Otis is Mr. Money in the Bank. No one saw this coming. Am I mad? No. I would have been pissed if it was Corbin, because Corbin, he's won it already, and really, what more can the heel? He's already the biggest heel in the company. You don't need the briefcase. I thought AJ would have been the perfect guy just to put it on AJ. He's a heel. That's what that briefcase is for. It's for heels. It would have made the most sense. He just came back from losing to The Undertaker. He can get some momentum back by winning the WWE Championship and having a feud with McIntyre is really who's left. If AJ maybe gets another match, who's going to feud with McIntyre after the fact? Unless you're trying to have, I guess, AJ technically still can just feud with him. But at least if he had the briefcase, he could have beat him and then have a feud with him. But I wanted AJ Styles, Aleister to win because I thought Raw guy would needed it. And they go with the guy no one thought would actually win it. And as a fellow thick boy, I loved Otis. I love the storyline with him and Mandy. I think that's amazing. Vince McMahon is going ahead with Otis as the Mr. Money in the Bank. Do I see him winning the Universal Championship? Hell no. He's going to be a babyface, so he's probably going to tell, Braun or The Fiend. It could be Bray or The Fiend, whoever is the Universal Champion, whenever he decides to catch. And I think it's going to be like an RVD or a John Cena where he's going to make it clear. Like, hey, I want the match at the Royal Rumble or TLC or SummerSlam. I don't think we're going to get like a heel cash-in. Because I do not think Otis is winning the Universal Championship. If Otis wins the Universal Championship, I'll go, no, I'm not going to say that, because nope. But I will be very surprised if Otis does end up winning the Universal Championship. But it's different, and I know people have already shit on this because, WWE's doing something new, and, people complain about WWE that they don't do anything new, and then when they do something new, everyone shits on it, so I'm not going to shit on it. I love Otis. Otis is amazing. He's carried SmackDown. He's the only reason I watch SmackDown. Like, there's, for me, no reason. The Bray and him are the only 2 reasons. So, I'm not mad. I'm a little surprised. I had no words. I legit just watched the show, and I'm like, I couldn't fathom Otis is Mr. Money in the Bank. So, thoughts on the show? Was it worth the $10? Yeah. The Money in the Bank ladder match, I'd recommend it. It's fun. It's just a clusterfuck. It's pretty much what it is. It's 2 clusterfucks just having fun in an office building, and it's like Sharknado. That's why I love kind of those kind of cheesy, stupid, entertaining matches. And Otis is Mr. Money in the Bank. Asuka is Miss Money in the Bank. So at least they went basic and went conservative on one. We'll see what comes from here from Otis as Mr. Money in the Bank. We'll see where Bray and Braun lead, and pretty much what's the WWE title match. So now Raw doesn't have it, so Drew doesn't have to look over his shoulder for an AJ or an Aleister. What's next for Drew? What's next for Braun? We know Braun's probably gonna get the Fiend, but how are they gonna introduce the Fiend on SmackDown? But leave in the comment section below what you guys think of Otis as Mr. Money in the Bank. Leave your opinions down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.